Now we're going to show you how to create a return within IQ Reseller. The first step that you're going to want to do, if you haven't done so already, is you're going to want to set up your return reason codes. You need those to create a return within IQ. To do that, you're going to go to order processing. You're going to click on edit return reason codes. Edit return reason codes are the reasons why you're creating the return. A couple examples that I have here is you have the wrong part, not as described, damaged, or defective. To create a new one, you're just going to click new down here at the bottom, and then you can use the codes that I just presented in this demo. You can also create your own. You can just say customer doesn't want as well. So you're going to type what the code is, wrong part, you put it in the reason code, and then in the description, you put the reason behind it or the description behind that code. At that point, you click save. I already have my example set up. Now to create a return, you have to go from an invoice sales order. So we're going to go to sell and we're going to go to sales orders. We're going to click on the invoice tab down here at the bottom, and then we're going to go search and say, hey, you know what, we have 1143 from Chase. They don't want this item no more. So I see that this has been invoiced as well. So that's good. That means it meets the criteria. We're going to mark it now and we're going to click return. A new window is going to appear. You're going to say, you know what, this is good. You're going to select the type of return. So anywhere that's in a light yellow is an edible field within IQ Reseller as well. And we're going to say return for credit for this example. The only returns that we support within IQ Reseller is return for credit, return for replacement, or credit only. Return for credit will bring the item back into inventory. It will the return for replacement will bring the item back into inventory and put a new one on a sales order for you to then to ship back out to that customer. And then credit only, meaning they keep the item and you give them money back. That's it. So here, this we're just going to do credit only, or I mean return for credit. We're going to mark the item and we're going to click save. A pop-up is going to say return 539 has been created successfully. We're going to hit OK. Okay, and now we're done here. So we're going to close that out and say that the shipment has come back now. And you're going to go to order processing as well, and we're going to click on returns. Now there's one thing that I didn't point out too as well, is you can actually print a return document here that you can give to the customer that they can then put in to the package. So when receiving then gets the return back, they can actually scan this barcode right here into the scan return ID. And if I was to scan in 593, it will actually highlight that order right there. Or if I do 522, you'll see that it highlights that return then. We're going to continue through with 593. So here's the return here. This all looks good there. So now we're going to say, hey, you know what? This is the right item to receive. So we're going to click receive now, which will now successfully receive that return, and it's going to move it to the verify, test, and repair tab. For this example now, you're going to want to select that return again. It's going to go through the verify, test, and repair tab because we're going to verify that item. We got to make sure that was the right item received here. We're going to open up the box here. We're going to set the verification status to it was the correct item to receive. So perfect. And then you can do this down here too as well. So we can say that past testing, failed testing, physical damage, untesting. So you're kind of just saying, hey, is this kind of good to put back into inventory, or what's going on with it as well? So here we're just going to say it passed testing. We're going to set that to it. And you can do it up top here too. You have to make sure that there's always something here in this field and then in that field as well. Here we're going to say now that this process has been completed. You can scroll more to the right of the page as well to see that, okay, this is being returned to stock as well. And then we're going to hit process completed. This now completes that process and it moves it to the close tab. Now a couple of things can happen here on the close tab is sometimes it's up to sales to close it, and then sometimes it can be up to accounting. So the way that works is sales creates the return, the warehouse receives it, and then either sales or accounting will then close that return. Sometimes customers will want accounting to close the return because they'll be the ones that have to issue the credit back to the customer as well, or sales will is because they want to keep track of what's going on with their customer as well. So now we're going to click on the to close tab, and we're going to see there's return 539 to Chase. And we're going to click on the close button here as well. So we say, okay, here it is. It looks good. It's returned to stock. Now we're going to close it as well. If you don't want to give them the full amount back either, say I didn't want to give this full $67 back, you can actually scroll to the right like I just did, and now you can type a different credit amount that you want. For this example, we're going to give them the full $67 back though. And at this point now is we're going to click close return. which now this is going to close out that return. You can see 539 now moves to the close tab. And there it is. It's closed out, and it was closed out on today's date as well. Now we're going to move to the invoice section as well, just to show you that credit invoice that gets set up here. So you can see that it automatically created a credit invoice of $13.52 for a sales order $11.43 for the negative $67, which now creates a payable or credit on file for that customer. And if you look down here at the lower right in internal comments, it says that this returned inventory on November 15th from return 539. And then who created the return, which would be myself as well. If we go to inventory as well, click on inventory here. And so let's go back to that sales order to get the sales order number, because I'm going to show you that sales order as well. Real quick here. So that was $11.43. You can see that that has been sold out, and it goes back into inventory, and it gives you the inventory ID number as well. So I'll show you what it looks like in inventory with that inventory ID. So we're going to take the inventory ID, and we're just actually going to put that right up here in the Scan IQ label, which will now take us to the advanced inventory screen. And then here's that item right here. If I right click, it shows that it was invoiced and then it was returned from sales order 1143, and then we changed the condition code in IQ from grade A to ITR. So after the returns, you do have to go back to this item, and you have to update the condition code as well. Because in the system, we mark it as an RMA or return in transit, and you need to have this condition code to create a return. If you don't have ITR condition code, the return will not work. And then at this point, you have to re-update it to what it reflects in that condition. You click Save Changes, and now that return is officially done, and you can see that that grade went from an ITR to back to a grade A, and you can see that that item is back in inventory with the same inventory ID number that it had when it was originally brought into the system. That's how you create a return within IQ Reseller. Thank you.